Hello darlings and welcome back to my makeup garden. It's Liz. So today we're playing with the Nomad Cosmetics Ghost Town USA palette. Now I did receive this palette in PR, but any opinions are my own. Y'all know I'm not gonna lie to you. But we're gonna use this today and we're gonna play with all of the colors, all but one. And yeah, so let's talk about the packaging. So we do have this fun lenticular packaging where it goes from like the Wild West to being a ghost town. Spooky season is my favorite. It's the best time of year. I don't care, fight me. It's a hill I will die on. So the color story is here, and I will insert pictures of the close-ups of the palette before I messed up all the pans, and then swatches as well. So let me insert those close-ups here. And we're back. So this is the third look that I created with the palette. So if you want to see this and two more, then please keep watching. I'm thinking for the first look, I kind of want to go in the coppery realm. So I think I'm going to take, what do I want to take? Oh, I think that'd be pretty. I'm going to use this in my transition. I think the shade is called Ghost Town. I haven't used every shade in this palette yet. I've used, I would say about half so far, and I've liked, you know, all of the looks, all the shades that I've created, like the looks I've created so far. So we're going into Ghost Town, which is kind of like that sage green. I'm gonna apply that here to my transition, and I do notice that some of these like lighter colors are a little bit more sheer. I'm just using this Glam Light brush here. They're a little bit more sheer, which is kind of nice for blending. So if you look for immediate payoff, now this is kind of a dusty shade. So, and if you notice there's like underlying gray tones, I kind of think that's what pulls these mattes together, is because there is kind of like that undercurrent of gray. So there we go. It's not just straight green, but it does build up to more green, it looks like, which is nice. So I have that one on. I kind of want to go, let's just go down the line. Let's go here. Let's deepen up our crease with that Stagecoach Mary shade, which is very much like a kind of a deeper gray green. Use this Glam Light brush as well. This is from their Michaela Pot too. So it's very tempting for me to just do all gray and green looks from this palette because, you know, I love greens and I love blues, and oh, that looks really nice. Oh, look, just a little bit, and it just diffused really nicely. Okay, love that. Should I do a halo eye? Yes, I should. Quickest turnaround ever. Now there is a lot of kick up in the pan on this shade, if you can see, so it may get messy, just FYI, with this kind of brush anyway. I don't know if you will have a different result with a different kind of brush, but I wanted to mention it just in case it's something that is really kind of a pet peeve for you. So I did receive this palette in PR, just FYI, but I have no obligation to post. If you've been here for a while, you know that I really like Nomad and I really like their formula. And so I was really excited that they sent this to me. Like, so excited. I don't know if I'm gonna be on their PR list moving forward, like, you know, in the future. This is just kind of like a trial run, I think. But I'm really excited just to get this one even, like. Now, for those of you who don't know, I do have an Instagram that's been around a lot longer than my makeup channel. And that's, you know, probably the numbers on there are a lot higher than they are on my YouTube channel. So, okay. So I really like that. I kind of want to just keep a light hand with this. I don't want it to be too dark. I do have a little bit of separation there in the crease. So let me apply just a little bit more. I do have some like lid I have texture on my lids and, you know, all of that because I'm 37. So, all right, let me just diffuse that a little bit with the first brush. Okay, good. I like that. Okay, so do I want to deepen this further? Not yet. Oh, am I gonna go green? I'm gonna go green. We'll do copper on another look. So I'm gonna place this shade here. Now these are formulated with, the shimmers in this palette are formulated with prickly pear cactus oil, which is supposed to extend the life of your makeup because it keeps the shadow like looking fresh and, you know, I guess it hydrates the skin underneath. I will say these putty type shades have a tendency to crease on me, and the first time I used this shade, I did layer it up a bit, and it did crease on me when I layered it up a bit, but it took a while. It wasn't an immediate thing, but it took a little while. But I did get some creasing, especially where these lines run through my lid. So just FYI. And I did use a glitter primer with it the first time I used it, so you've been warned. Now, any softer shimmer shade formula for me is gonna do that, so I don't take it personally. All right, so I'm gonna go into Calico California here, and I'm just gonna put that all over my lid. And I did use some NYX glitter primer on my lid, which is my go-to for shimmers. So, look how pretty that is. Give me all the greens, forever and always. So the shades in here and the, this is their Halloween launch from Nomad Cosmetics. And the shades in here are named after like famous characters of the West. So you have like Stagecoach Mary, and they're named after ghost towns of the American West, which are primarily like North America, which are primarily like mining towns. So some of the shades in here are attributed to that, like this copper shade over here, which is called Copper Penny. There's Garnet because there was garnet mined. There's Rhyolite, Nevada, because that's, you know, one of the ghost towns. So it's pretty cool to see the theming. Now, I think that is very nice, but I would like a little bit of pop on the lid now that we have that shade on. So I'm gonna go ahead and go into the shade Gold Rush here, which is a little bit brighter of a green, and I'm just gonna place that on the center of the lid for a little zhuzh, a little out of zhuzh. And this shade is a lot softer, just so you know. So if you can see, it's a little bit like more of a gold green. Now I do have a little bit of fallout from that. So just FYI. Just a little bit. It's not too bad, but I don't normally do my makeup until after I've done my eyeshadow, so it doesn't bother me. Okay, that's nice. Just a little bit of brightness in the center of the lid. All right, and I'm gonna go into, for my inner corner shade, I think I'm gonna go into the shade here, which is called Tombstone, and I'm just gonna use a small brush. Let's use the B3, sorry. Now, that's one thing that's, I think, missing from this color story. I think I would have liked a little bit of a lighter matte, but only because I used the lighter matte for this look. I would think that that light green shade would be a nice lighter matte. Okay, I think that's really pretty. So let's go back in with this brush here. This is the same one that we used with the shade Stagecoach Mary. I'm not gonna add anything to the brush yet. I'm just gonna kind of run it along my lower lash line just to give it a little bit of smokiness. And I think I want to deepen up this outer corner just a little bit, the outer and inner corner. So I'm going to take one of these blues. I think I'm going to take Dead Man's Hand right here. And I'm going to use that on like the outer and the very slight inner corner over those shimmers, just to kind of get a little bit more depth from this, and then we'll do mascara. So I am trying to do this into the palette without obstructing the view just a little bit to give it some added depth. And I'm using the lightest touch to try to diffuse that a little bit. That's pretty, I like that. Okay. And if you are concerned about diffusing like think I want to just actually bring this just a little bit further. I just want like a little bit of dimension in this. I think it's really pretty, but it just needs a little something. Oh, that's nice. And the blue plays off that coppery kind of inner shade color really nicely. So I'm just going to tap that a little bit just to kind of, okay. We're going to do liner and lashes, and I will be right back. All right, darlings. So we are back. Here is the completed look. All right, so I think that came out really pretty. I like it a lot. I do have a little bit of creasing here in the outer corner, but like I said, I'm actually having issues with my lids right now. So that may not necessarily be the shadow formula. That said, darker colors have a tendency to do that on me, and I'm not wearing an eye primer. So all things to consider. But yeah, I think this came out really nicely. I like it a lot. So we're gonna go into the next look. So I definitely want to use those copper colors. So let's do that here. I'm thinking that I'm gonna go, but then the purple. Okay, we're gonna focus. We're gonna focus right now. Okay, sorry. Okay, here's the deal. I really want to use a purple too, but we'll do that next, okay? So we're gonna go into the shade here. Now this is kind of this would be a good transit. Actually, let's go into this shade here, okay? Let's go into Bandit Queen. So we're gonna do that. I am going to take the same, and I did use my color switch on this. Yeah, I'm gonna use this Glam Light brush here, and I'm gonna go into Bandit Queen. I really wanna use that coppery color, and I think that that's gonna be really pretty on the lid. So I'm gonna go ahead and go, I am using a mirror on the side here, so we're just gonna go here. I would say this is like a really nice, almost neutral medium brown. There is kick up in the pan, just so you know, and that's Bandit Queen. And I am just gonna work that into my outer corner here and then into my crease. And I'm gonna blend it up on the transition. I kind of want this shade to be a little bit, this look to be a little bit simpler. So I don't think that pretty makeup has to be complicated. That's just, you know, my opinion. It's probably not an unpopular opinion, it's just an opinion. So I think it's cool when people can use like 8 shades in a look, but I don't think it's necessary. So, okay. So I think that's really pretty. That went on beautifully. I have no issues with that color at all. So I am gonna go and I'm just gonna take a fluffier brush. I'm just gonna diffuse that along the outside here. Not necessarily adding more or anything. I just wanna blend it just a little bit. And I'm gonna grab a little bit on my brush to do that with as well. Just tap it off. So, oh, there we go. That's great. Just needed a little bit more. All right, love that, love that. So I'm gonna go in again. Honestly, let's try something different this time. Let's use some setting spray, and let's try to apply those shimmers with the setting spray. Now, I prefer to apply shimmers with my finger. That's my preference, but let's do that. Let's try it with a setting spray. Actually, let's just wet it. So I have Fix Plus, which is, I don't consider to be a setting spray, honestly, but I do think that it'll be effective for this. So we're gonna go into the shade, let's go into the shade, we wanna do Tombstone? Let's start lighter and then go darker this time. So let's go into Tombstone. And I am just gonna pick that up with my brush and then I'm gonna wet it. Now these shimmers, oh my gosh, there's way too much on that brush. These shimmers are very soft. So if you had problems with Nomad's like hard panning in the last palette, I don't think that's gonna be an issue with the shimmers in this palette. However, there is one shade in here that I do think is going to hard pan, and that's actually this shade here. This is Arrested Decay. I don't think this is a shimmer, a matte that you can use your finger in. And the reason I say that is because I can see a film already forming on it, and I only swatched it. So just something to consider. I have really been enjoying this. This is probably the 5th or 6th time that I've used this palette so far. And I keep wanting to recreate the same shades, like the same looks. So actually I've probably used 10 shades of this, not counting this look, up to this point. I hadn't realized I'd used it that much, but yeah, I've used it quite quite a bit. All right, so we're taking that shade Tombstone. Now I'm just gonna apply this to my inner corner here. Oh, that's nice. It's very nice. And I'm just gonna sweep it along my lid here. I'm gonna grab a little bit more. I normally apply these with my finger. So I was just curious to see how they apply with a brush. So, all right. I think that looks very pretty. I did wet my brush the first time. I did not wet my brush before I dipped in the second time. But yeah, I think that's pretty. Okay. It's not quite as vibrant as I would like. So let me use my finger and let me increase the density of that shade on my lid. For lack of a better word. Yeah, okay. I do prefer to apply these with my finger. I just wanted to try it. If you like a little bit more of a diffused look, then I think that you should apply this with a brush because they are very soft. You're gonna pick up a lot of product with your finger, but I just think that's so pretty. It's like a champagne-y kind of a color. That is very pretty, but we're gonna add some more to it because I'm an extra bitch sometimes. So let's go into the shade Copper Penny here because I really want to put that on my eyeball. I've done one look using this shade and I put it all over my lid with an eyeliner and it was just really pretty by itself. But let's use it in combination with Tombstone here on the lid. So I'm just adding a little bit of that to my finger, not too much. And I'm gonna go in here to this like outer third and just kind of work that over and blend it in. All right, that's pretty. Like center of the lid. That's very pretty. It is different tonally than Tombstone, so I think I'm gonna have to tap in a little bit just to get it to blend a little bit more. It's a lot warmer than Tombstone is, but yeah, that's so pretty. I'm digging that. We just tap it in just a little bit more here. And then we are gonna deepen this outer corner just a little bit. Okay. I think that is very like neutral leaning and very pretty. I like that. So I'm not a neutral queen. You guys know I love colorful makeup, but I'm going through a phase. I kind of like it a little bit. Maybe it's because I'm constantly bombarded by the neutrals right now because it's kind of everywhere, but it's cute. We can't deny that neutrals are universally flattering. It's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so we're gonna go into Deadwood here. Okay, so what happened was, you guys know like I have a morbid curiosity at this point, and like I was reading facts one time, and I read a fact, and I don't know how true it is, but that, you know, people often, dead bodies, when they go into rigor mortis, will often get an erection for those penis-carrying people. And it made me giggle like a school child because I have the maturity level of a teenager. So, all right. We're just taking that shade Deadwood, and we are just placing that on the outer corner here. It's very much like a nice neutral, deeper brown. Very much like a chocolate color. It's really pretty. But I just want an extra little bit of darkness here. Okay. Very, very pretty. I like that a lot. My neighbor is working on his yard. So just so you know, if you hear like a bunch of noise in the background, that's what it is. I like that a lot. But I do feel like my inner corner needs a little bit of something in terms of definition. So I'm not going to add any more to the brush. I'm just going to add a little bit of definition kind of along the crease here. Using that same. I don't want it to necessarily be a spotlight eye. But I just feel like that inner corner needs a little definition, you know? Okay. All right. I think that's so pretty. All right, so let's take, what shade can we use as an inner corner? Honestly, I don't see a shade that I want to use as an inner corner in this palette. So I think I am going to bring in a different palette just for that inner corner. So let me see what I have close by. Corner, and I have a white shade right here, so I'm just going to use that. And I'm just using this Blend Bunny brush. But sometimes you just want a little bit of a lighter a lighter inner corner that's a matte. I personally really love a matte inner corner shade. But yeah, okay. I think that's nice. Just a little bit of lightness. Now I do want to add something on my lower waterline. So let's go ahead and go back with that Blend Bunny brush, and we're going to go into the shade. Kind of want to just keep it neutral, honestly. But let's see how this blue shade right here looks. This one is called Skinner's Saloon. So let's see how that looks on the lower waterline. I'm just going to, I don't want to load too much on my brush. And let's just go into that here. That shade is pretty sheer, so I'm gonna actually add a little bit more. This is kind of like a slate gray color. Oh, that looks nice. I like that with the copper. I think that's pretty. And I am just gonna work that up just a little bit so it blends into like the top, because I like them to look like they're connected. There's something about like browns and blues together. It's so pretty. Okay, I like that. Now, do I want to add anything else? Actually, no, I don't think I do. So, oh, maybe I do. All right, actually I do. So let's go into this lower shade here. I think we're gonna go and just add a little bit of brightness here along the bottom there. And I kind of want to add this purple color. So that one is called Ghost Train, and it is a shifty shade. It shifts from like a taupe to a purple, which is hella cool. And I think will look nice right down here. So I'm always hesitant to put taupes and purples on the the lower lash line, because I have a feeling, I always feel like they look, make me look more tired than I am, because I do have some dark circles, because I'm getting older and I have kids and they constantly try to kill me. So, all right. I like that little pop of purple. I don't know if you can really tell from where you are, but it looks nice. Okay, let me finish up with some mascara and some liner, and I will be right back with the finished look there. All right, darlings. So this, sorry, let me adjust. Okay, so this is the completed second look here on the right. I think it's really nice. I think it's beautiful, and I think that little bit of slate gray there on the bottom is just kind of a really nice way to add a little pop of color into the look. So I'm gonna go remove this. Oh, I used the Blend Bunny, the cream gel liner on my tight line up there, which is, by the way, has become my favorite way to use cream gel liner. This kind, you know, in the pot, is on with the tiny brush on my tight line. It is so much easier for me to like get in there instead of trying to like stab myself in the eye with a pencil. So much better. Life hack. I did use this Color Pop and called in Brew Hana, I think it says, Brew Stir, something like that. It is like a cooler brown, deeper brown in my waterline there. And then I added on, like, I'm wearing Bad Gal Bang in both of my my eye looks, but I put a thicker coat on this side. It looks so good. It's a good one. So let me take this off, and we will come in for the third look. All right, darling, so for the third and final look of this video, I want to use more of the shimmers. So we're gonna go into the shade here. This is called Undead Sheriff, and it kind of has like a purpley sheerness to it. So I'm gonna place that in my transition. So this is just like a really beautiful transition color. I've used this one quite a few times already, and I'm just like, yes, give me all of the shades. And it just makes for like a really nice transition where, you know, you don't, and doesn't require a lot of work. So I'm using this BK Beauty. This is the 201. If you don't have these BK Beauty brushes, these eye brushes, I actually really recommend them. I like them a lot. This and the tapered one. There's one that's like really tapered I'm looking for. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Anyway, this is like, I think they're Essentials eye brush kit. I actually like them a lot. I think their quality is really nice. So, okay. So yeah, we just built that up in the transition, and it's just a really simple, like easy transition color. So on the lid, I want to apply this shade here, this Ghost Train. I'm itching to use this purple color. And I'm just gonna place this all over the lid. Okay, just using my finger like I always do. Now I did not prime, use any kind of glitter glue or anything like that with this shade, just FYI. So I don't have any on my eyes. And part of the reason is I'm using this as a base. I am gonna add other shimmers on top of it. And I'm just kind of taking that purple shade and working it up a little bit, like above the line here. Sorry if I leaned back in the beginning there. But yeah, okay, I like that. So, okay, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, of course. And I'm just placing that all over my lid. Obviously, you can use a brush or whatever makes your heart happy. I just kind of wanted to try it this way. Ooh, I think it's gonna storm. Okay. Sorry, I just looked up and noticed that things were getting dimmer. So if the light changes, you know the drill. Okay. Because I'm in front of a window, of course. All right, so I do want to just bring that up just a little bit higher. Okay. And I want that to be the base because there are a couple other shimmers in here that I think would be really pretty with this. I want this look to be mostly shimmers. So I'm gonna bring in, I think I'm gonna get this shade Smoky Quartz here. And we're gonna go on the blue side of things. Now this shade Garnet is like more of a, let's do that. More of like a brownie pink, but I kind of want to stick to the purple blue kind of vibe for this look. So we're gonna go into the shade Smoky Quartz and we're gonna add that on the outer area. And it's very much kind of like a slate color, and we're just gonna lightly tap that in this just for some dimension. Now you could sweep this out or whatever. Now I do think my phone is gonna run out of memory for ProRes, so just FYI. If the quality changes here in a couple of minutes, that's why. Or like the, you know, type of camera work. I do record on my phone because I am not a professional. I am a hobbyist and I don't have a nice camera yet for that. So, all right. So that is so pretty. I like that already. So, very nice. Okay, just adding that there. Oh, no, too much. I just diffused with my clean finger. Okay. So on the inner part of my eye here, I want to use this shade here, Quicksilver. It's such a pretty light kind of a blue. There's no shift to it. It's just like a metallic-y blue. I don't have anything, I don't think, like this in my collection. I am, again, just using my finger because that is my preference for shimmers. And I'm just going to add that to the inner corner here. And just add a little bit of lightness. And then diffuse out. Oh my gosh, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. I wanted to add the purple as the base because I feel like it just ties the look together when it's an all shimmer look. We're just gonna add that right here in my inner corner. Well, not quite fully, but the first third. All right. And here we are on cinematic now because I did indeed run out of storage. All right. Oh yes, this is my jam right here. Now I am gonna take just a little bit more of that purple shade called Ghost Train, if I didn't say it before. And I'm just gonna add it into the center of my lid just to kind of make that pop a little bit more. Now I did not use a glitter primer at all because I wanted to see how these were gonna do on the lid without one. So far, I'd say they're doing pretty well. All right. Now, I do have a microfiber cloth here. Is it damp enough? Maybe. Clean up this under eye because things got messy. Okay. And let's think about what we're going to do for the inner corner. I kind of want to add, is it weird I want to add like a pop of, you know what? We haven't used Rhyolite yet. Not in this video, so let's use the shade Rhyolite. The shade here, this one's called Rhyolite. I think it'll match like the overall vibe that we're going for here. And let's go into that, and we're gonna go ahead and add that on the inner corner. I would have liked there to have been a lighter matte shade, but I do like the shades that are in here. We could have tentatively like abandoned one of the medium browns maybe, but, oh, Levi's waking up. All right, so the shade Rhyolite just went for a really nice little pop of light. And I like to bring mine, when I'm using a brush especially, just in this inner corner. I like to bring it up just a little bit because I have a tendency to get with my shape, like kind of a shadow right here, and I kind of like to mitigate that. So very pretty. These are very sparkly. I like that a lot. Okay, let me go clean up the sparkles because I have fallout because I did not use a glitter primer. So just FYI, they are very sparkly shades and you might get some fallout. So let me go get Levi out of his crib and let me put on some mascara. I'll clean up underneath and then we'll just do a little bit of color on the waterline and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back. I ended up adding a little bit of the shade Quicksilver right here to the lower waterline there, just for a little pop of something. And then I did add Arrested Decay, which is here, and you can see that like film there on my tight line as an eyeliner. So let me zoom out, and I have mascara and the same mascara and the same eyeliners, all that. So let me zoom out and let me talk about this third and final look and the palette itself. So here's that. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about something that Nomad does for all of their palettes, all their destination palettes. A portion of the proceeds go to some charitable organization, and this is no different. So a portion of Ghost Town USA will be going to the Peregrine Fund, which rehabilitates and helps birds of prey worldwide. So it's really cool that Nomad does that. Okay, so I've used every palette or every shade in this palette today, except for the shade Garnet here. So what do I think about the palette as a whole? So I actually really like this. I feel like it's a very neutral color palette, and especially with cool tones, I think it's unique in my collection. So that said, these shades here they're like sheer buildable shades in my opinion. This is a little bit more purple on the eye, like purple gray. So these three are very sheer, they're buildable, they're beautiful transition colors. These here are that soft metallic-y kind of formula. If you're prone to creasing, definitely use a primer, but it's not bad at all, okay? So just, if you don't cake it on, it's perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues with it being sheer. Using like sheer washes of color. So those are great. This is kind of a shifty shade without using a primer on the eye. I don't see a lot of that shift. I see it some, but I did not use a primer, not even my NYX glitter primer for this look. And you can still see how vibrant those shimmers are. So because this is more of a putty type formula, if you want a more vibrant look from them, then definitely you either wet apply them with a brush or use your finger, just FYI. I feel like that's a given for all shimmers, but especially for putty type shimmers. I really like this. I'm gonna keep using it. I'm probably gonna hit a pan in this palette because I really like these browns and that copper's gorgeous. These are so soft that they move around in the pan. Let's see if I can get it to focus. They do move around in the pan because they have that prickly pear cactus oil. So they're definitely a softer. Now, anyway, I think it's a great palette. I really like it. I don't have a savings code. I did receive this in PR, but my opinions are my own. Y'all know I ain't gonna lie to you. But But I will put one in the description box for you, just so you have like one in case you want to get it. But I like it. It's good. So anyway, those are 3 looks. If you did you get this palette? Tell me in the comments below if it's something that you picked up. Spooky season, it's my favorite. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm happy that we've come to this stage of the game. All right, I love your faces. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.